And we're back. This is Nye County. Tom Gibson to the other side, and Chuck Augustin to my left. There we go. We're going to go back to our video. I just want to give you a heads up that you probably already noticed is that the prompting below is not accurate. It's court added service that we pay for that really doesn't work. Anyway, that said, Chuck, you wanted to say a couple things before we go back?
I had never been involved in any court thing outside of the military, where I was a security officer to make sure no one divulged top secret information. So this was my first fling into the court system as a criminal. I had no clue about what was going on. In July, the police came by, said, basically, what are you hitting golf balls at your neighbor's house for? Which was in retaliation for me filing a report at the police against the neighbors, who I'll get into later. But at any rate, I get a notice in September of 2013 that I'm charged with a gross misdemeanor. Next thing, I show up as they ordered, or I would be arrested, on 9 December 2013 for this arraignment. I didn't have a clue what was going on. I tried to get papers, the police report, the discovery papers, I learned what they're called. Twice I filled out forms, nothing. Usually,
again, and the thing is the prosecutor's office normally will not give those to the defendant. They will only give them to the attorney. And if you are representing yourself, then it's sort of, you pay hell getting it, but they will give it to you. But
that's nice of them.
Yeah, yeah. But you're entitled to it. But you are only entitled to one set, and that one set usually goes to the lawyer.
And the thing about defending myself, again, I wanted to find out what the world was the evidence against me. I'd come home from a cardiologist appointment, and next thing the cops are showing up saying, you know, why are you hitting golf balls at your neighbors? I had no clue what bogus information they were going to come up against me. So I wanted to see it before I decided I had to pay to get a lawyer. Well, it turns out my rights were denied. And many others' rights have been denied by this judge and other judges.
Right, and a defendant has the absolute right to defend his or herself in a court of law. It's the case is called Ferretta, and Ferretta states that the United States Supreme Court states that a person has that absolute right to defend themselves, and if you are concerned, but you want to represent yourself, oftentimes the judge will appoint what they call standby counsel that is usually a public defender that will assist to a certain effect. I mean, help with jury instructions and whatnot on felonies and gross misdemeanors. I've seen people win, and I've seen people, you know, do very well for themselves. They're usually lame cases, but they've done okay. And Chuck, you wanted to at least attempt to represent yourself, and Judge Kent shut you right down because judges can't stand to have pro se's anyway. But you know, in civil cases, they don't really have a lot of choice. But in criminal cases, they force a lawyer on you because it makes things move smoother. And the DAs and the other lawyers don't like dealing with pro se's because you don't know how things work, and it basically upsets us because we can't explain stuff to you.
And let me set the record straight. Judge Kent was not relieved because of medical issues. He was relieved for cause. He was relieved by the Judicial Disciplinary Committee.
Well,
I could go into a whole lot of things about Judge Kent, but the bottom line is it wasn't because of his health.
Well, he did resign on his own, but
yeah. And my own personal opinion that we'll get in later is there's a thing called Brady material. And that's when you have basically, I'll use the word, corrupt individuals that have presided against you or collected evidence, police, DA, judges, and because they've been proven to be corrupt, most cases or all cases that they've had an influence on.
Well, yeah. Technically, yeah. The definition of Brady material is exculpatory material that will, or material that a jury or a judge would want to hear that will lend to state whether a witness is credible or not. If a police officer has ever lied, and they do on occasion, some of them, if they've lied and they get caught, then they either get fired, and if they're not fired, then and if they have a sheriff that doesn't care about having liars on the force, if they ever have to be a witness, the DA has to advise the jury that this is a liar, but you can believe him this time, or you don't have to believe him. But there is a instruction that the judge will read to the jury about the person's lack of credibility.
And the thing is, to me, the law is ridiculous at this point. Anybody can be charged with anything. There's legal tricks that are played left and right. Justice is a myth. Right or wrong, guilty or innocent, it's all technicalities, it's money, it's power, control. We've lost sight of what the whole system should be about. And believe me, my case was not by any means the worst I've witnessed. And I haven't seen a whole lot. I've heard of others, but some people are just incredibly maligned by the system.
Okay, what's next on the video then?
Okay, Noah, can you play the next one? This is the first witness against me.
All right,
I think you can
come
still
forward,
hear
Mr.
us.
Augustin.
Right
Charles
now,
R.
that's the judge is
Augustin,
presiding,
13
and this is a
03725.
preliminary hearing, which is the hearing after the
Preliminary
confirmation of
hearing.
counsel.
On the charge of injury to other property, a gross misdemeanor. Allegations, sir, as you recall, is that on or about July 17, 2013, you did
think
damage
this
to the
video also
personal
shows that you
property
don't
of
have to have
Mr.
good hair
Thomas
to be a
Pennington
judge.
by damaging Mr. Pennington's house with one or more golf balls, thereby causing damage in the amount between $250 and $5,000.
Oops.
Oh, can you play the next one there?
Did you give Deputy Trumbull an address of 3160 Wall Street when she spoke to you?
An officer didn't speak.
You never talked to a deputy?
No, my son did.
Son did, but you never spoke to the deputy.
Not, I don't remember.
I'm drawing your.
To tell you the truth.
Can you play the next one then?
Last year, the police came over to your house, reference a broken window. Is that correct? And you didn't speak to a police officer or deputy.
My son pretty much talked to the deputy.
You didn't, though.
I honestly don't remember if I did or not.
She said she didn't talk to the deputy.
You definitely didn't fill out a report, though, correct? A handwritten report?
Correct.
And you don't remember speaking to a deputy?
I honestly don't remember.
I mean,
I've had cops at my house quite a bit when my son-in-law lived there, so,
when was that?
he died in December, so they've been coming and going for like 2 years.
And they would have been coming and going the summer of 2013 then, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and is this your son-in-law you're referring to?
Yeah, he's dead now, though.
And what was his name?
Jason Yeoman,
How do you spell that?
Yeoman.
And how did he die?
His heart.
Heart, okay. But so Why were the police at your house during the times that your son-in-law was living there?
Can object to relevance.
Let's give me some relevance, Mr. Gibbs.
Broken windows?
Pardon me?
Broken windows, maybe?
No, for having stolen property. And he was on drugs, and
How old was he
he was
when he died?
40, I think, 40 or 42.
Okay, so, and he was into drugs, you're telling me?
Yes, he was. We would fight constantly, so.
What, if you know, what kind of things was he accused of stealing?
All right. Let's keep it on track. This is about who broke the windows.
Of course, it is a judge, and so I should be able to get into other people that were there that may be criminals and find out what their activities were, because it could very well be my client's innocent, as shocking as that may seem to people.
Once again, I don't see the relevance, but I'll allow you a limited amount, tie it up.
Okay, so yeah, there was a point where I got a little irritated with the judge, and I said, you know, someone might be innocent, and he did give me a little leeway after that, except I pointed out fact out to him. Any comments?
Well, the thing to understand is this is the prosecution's witness. During the preliminary trial, the defense normally does not present a case. I had witnesses, I had a whole neighborhood full of witnesses that I was going to call. I had people from the golf course, I had cardiologists, etc. This was the prosecution's witness. And they were talking about this guy that was arrested, and the police were over multiple times, and on. And the prosecution objected when Tom wanted to find out what was this about. Outrageous. How that could be irrelevant.
She admitted about the drugs.
Yeah, she offered it. And yet the system says, prove relevance, that your accusers, who were visited countless times by the police for crimes.
Oh, we're about ready to break, so we'll be right back, and we'll continue on with our little mini trial, which should be back in a couple minutes. So stand by and listen to our sponsors.